little bit of a chilly morning today. You can see your breath a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera there, but it's chilly, which brings me to the point of what we're doing here this morning. I just loaded up a bunch of poop. It's that time of the year. Yeah, the harvest season's done. We learned quite a bit. You could see it in our previous couple of videos. We got some, and also turned out on potatoes, onions, garlic. We got some squash, a little bit of pumpkin, not that much. Beans didn't work out. So basically fed that all to the rabbits, the chickens, you know, reuse what you have on the homestead. And that's kind of where this poop comes into play. I just loaded a bunch of chicken poop that we've been collecting since we've had them in the spring. That's including our meat birds and our layers. I just cleaned out their coop a couple weeks ago so that they have some nice bedding for the winter. The rabbit poop I had from cleaning up on the other side of the chicken coop where we had the babies. So over time that all piled up, and I combined all that into one pile by the greenhouse. And as well as we had a pile of rabbit poop right underneath the male rabbit that we have. So I was able to easily shovel that in and put that in to these bins back here, these garbage bins. And I'm gonna be stopping off at the goat shed just before I go down to the garden to pick up some goat poop, because there's some good stuff coming out of them. And it's not smelly and all that stuff. We'll get to that in a second. Now, you know, it's not really that bad working with poop and or manure. Should I use it as the proper term so nobody gets offended? So working with manure, people think, oh, that's gross, and it could be, depending. Like the chicken poop there, it really stunk this summer when the sun was beating on it, and it was cooking basically in the sun along with everything else. The rabbit poop, not so much, but the chickens for sure. So when you're working with livestock poop, it's not really that bad. And in the past, being a tradesman, I worked in many different places, and I'll tell you one thing is I worked in a water treatment plant, and the things that us humans put down the toilet and that the things that come out of us human beings, whew, yeah, your nostrils basically burn out, and the smell doesn't even bother you because it's that bad in there. So working with this stuff here is really not that bad. Just make sure you keep your hands clean unless you get some underneath your fingernail like this. Alright, funny story, just unloading these things here. We used to have a farm growing up out in the middle of the country somewhere, and it was just a piece of land, small little house on it, but it had a garden that was probably 4 times this size here. And we would use manure a lot of the times, and it would be chicken manure. And we didn't have a pickup truck like I have now, which is convenient when transporting manure. And what we had was a Aerostar, or Safari van. Aerostar was like a similar version, just a different company. But anyways, we'd pull out the bench seats out of the van and fill up the van itself with these garbage cans, and we'd drive out probably half hour before we got to our farm, because the farm itself was probably a 45-minute drive. So we'd get out to this farmer's place where he gave out free chicken manure, and so we'd stop by there, and this stuff was like heaping piles. Like, I'm 6'1" myself, and these things were bigger than me, so I would say probably 10-12 foot piles. And the sun would be beating on it all the time, and we'd be filling these things up, and it would just be stinking. And so because we had these things filled and in the back of the van, now Mom and Dad were worried about the manure spilling in the back of the van. And guess who was the one that got to sit in the back of the van in between all the containers there and hold on for dear life so that they don't fall over. So this little bit here, and compared to the water treatment plants where I've worked at, is nothing. I just remember that stench. It's so bad, right? And you have windows that don't open. All right, moving forward, I'm gonna talk about the different kinds of poop that I have here, and the benefits of them, each one. So again, I have chicken poop, I have rabbit poop, and I have goat manure. So goat manure is some of the best stuff you can use, hands down. First off, it's really clean. It's not like a dog or a horse or a cow where they lay mud pies. These come out almost in kibble-sized bits, like a rabbit almost, or a deer. So it's not considered very hot either, because it doesn't stink, and just how clean it is itself. So what I like to do is I have bedding in the goat house where the goats will urinate and poop onto, and so that's basically all I did here, was clean up the bedding, clean all that stuff up, and bring it down here, and I'll be tilling that into the garden. Now, the chicken manure that I'd like to talk to you about is one of the best stuff you can go out there. I've been hearing that chicken manure is now a hot commodity in the growing section, or the garden section of big box stores, and it's going for a decent penny. So I feel quite fortunate that I get that free of charge here. Just have to move it around myself, and it's actually real organic stuff. I don't know where it's been coming from, or the store stuff anyways. Chicken poop is very high in nitrogen, and fresh manure is considered hot, and you should not put it into your garden right away with your plants, because you do have the potential of burning your plants down and killing them basically. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to be putting in all the chicken manure that I have in this garden here. Well, I have still a pile left upstairs, or up top, and I'll be adding that to the greenhouse, and I'll be expanding this garden down here with a second garden over to the side here, which I'll be showing you as well. Now, chicken poop, like I said, it's very high in nitrogen. You want to let it sit over the winter, so that way it has time to cool down, and the snow gets to sit down on it and kind of saturate the soil with it. I also have wood shavings in there as well, so that's why another reason I want to put it in there right now, to give the wood shavings times to break down over the winter. And the wood shavings is just from the chicken coop itself that I use as a bedding in there. And what I'll do also is in the springtime, whatever I clean out of the chicken coop, I'll be putting into the garden here as well. But I'll give it probably a week or two before I actually put my plants in, so that way it's not hot and killing off my seedlings. The next and final one is the rabbit manure. And some say that rabbit manure is some of the best manure that you can use. Again, because it's considered a cold manure and does not have to be composted like sheep or horse or cow manure. Alright, I got everything spread out. So what I did was for every one trash can, I took a quarter of the garden and dumped it in 6 different places. So technically every 8 I put a 3 drops of the manure in, and now I got the roller tiller warming up, and basically all I'm gonna do is till everything in. All the weeds that are here, all the squash that has been hit by the frost, I'm gonna till all that in because it's gonna break down and turn into nutrients for the growing season for next year. So it's all good. I'm also thinking that I might add some more manure to this, depending on how everything spreads out. But you'll see that in the next coming days when I actually expand this garden and start breaking up the soil for the garden number 2 down here. So let's get tilling. All right, that's that. I typically go this way as well, but I figure since in the spring I'm gonna be tossing in some more manure, I'll do another pass this way and this way as well. But for this year, I think it's good enough. All the dead plants that you see in the back there, or the green plants or the live plants, they're just gonna decay and turn into some compost. And I brought the goats in here. They can kind of fertilize back here if they can, and they got all this green stuff that they can eat up for now. So looks like it's gonna rain, and I got some wood to split. I'll see you on the next video when we're expanding, we're putting in a garden right here, just to utilize some space. So I'll see you on the next one.